So, I'm going to start you off with a little scenario I want you to think about. You and your family are going camping, and you have to take some food. So, you take meat, like hot dogs, drinks, whatever you usually take. So, what are you going to take it in? Are you going to take it in like a backpack, a garbage sack? Are you going to take it in a cooler? Think about what you're going to take it in and why. She says cooler. Why are you going to take it in a cooler?
So it doesn't get bad and spoil.
Why would it go bad and spoil?
Because it is heat and it has more food.
So basically it would get hot and then it would go bad, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't a garbage sack or a backpack be a good choice for taking your food with you?
It's not insulated.
It's not insulated. Excellent.
Bears will get into it.
So I have some guided notes here for you. It also has a activity on the back.
Ooh.
Get some of those. Alright. So basically what we're talking about with the cooler keeping your food cold is that heat is trying to, through the process of conduction, get into your food. So can anybody tell me what conduction is? Do you have any ideas?
It has something to do with heat.
Okay.
And like energy flow.
Okay, it's energy flow. It's the transfer of energy through electrons. So if you read off of your guided notes, the transfer of thermal energy, which is heat, between molecules and atoms in a substance due to a temperature difference. So I have a couple blanks there. Conduction always takes place from a region of blank temperature to a region of the other blank temperature. Hot to cold. Yep, perfect. Higher temperature to lower temperature. A lot of people get confused and think it goes the other way, but actually it's always from higher temperature to lower temperature. And so why is conduction important? Why is another example for who cooks or barbecues? Most of us. So if you ever grab a pot or like a cast iron skillet is a good example. If you grab the handle on that after you've been cooking on it, what's it going to do?
Burn you.
Burn you. What if you grab like a frying pan that has a rubber handle on it? You grab that?
Shouldn't.
So why? The cast iron is a conductor. So a conductor is a material that allows for the easy flow of electrons from molecules in the atoms. And if you heat up a cast iron skillet, like you said, the whole thing gets hot, including the handle. So these materials allow the charge to travel across their entire surface equally. So equally is what we're looking for on that guy. And so back to our cooler example, Melanie said that the cooler is a type of insulation or insulator. So what is insulation? Can anybody tell me? Any
Padding.
okay, some padding, some layers maybe, could be.
Keeps hot in or cold in.
Okay.
Escaping.
So it basically prevents the flow of heat. So if you have something cold in there, it'll keep it cool. If you have something warm in there, it'll trap the heat in and kind of prevent it from escaping. So insulation is some way of slowing the rate of heat transfer between two objects. It slows that down, makes it so that your food doesn't go bad. You can stay for a day or two, especially if you have ice in there. And so that leads us into insulators. Those materials like a cooler, like insulation in your house, the rubber handle on your pot, those are all insulators. So take a guess at what an insulator does based off of what you just learned about insulation.
Slows down the transfer of heat.
Perfect. So materials that slow down the flow of electrons from molecule to molecule. It tries to travel through an insulator. So we used the cast iron example where heat spread evenly and quickly across the entire surface. What do you think it's going to do on an insulator? If you put heat on one part of the insulator, where is it going to go? Is it just going to stay there, or is it just going to move everywhere like the cast iron?
Stay there.
Okay, so it's just going to stay there. So it will not evenly distribute across the surface of the material for an insulator. So perfect. Now, with partners, I want you to flip it over. I have a couple of objects here. I'm just going to quickly, which items would be good conductors of heat energy and which would be insulators to slow the rate of heat exchange. Just take a couple minutes and do that for me.
Sometimes
That is
food
true.
isn't as
So it
hot
could
as
be
other
really cold,
things.
yeah.
Some of these are tricky, so you're gonna have to think pretty hard on it.
And then the frying pan
Just, distributes heat. The frying pan.
is. Yeah, it's probably.
The pan itself is good.
Like actually,
This pan looks like it has
Is
a
this
recipe.
Yeah.
This one is a little that way.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
bowl.
Frying pan.
There's what you asked me.
So,
Oh, Kim.
how we doing on this? Everybody
So this
getting
is
close
where
to
I
some
said
solutions?
winter time.
Good. Alright, is everybody ready? We're gonna go. So Cody, what's one item that would be a good conductor of heat energy?
We did the frying pan.
Frying pan, that's a perfect example. What else would be a good conductor of heat energy? Aluminum foil, perfect. So a lot of people think that wrapping aluminum foil on something hot or something cold will keep it hot or cold. But what do we know about aluminum from our shop classes if we've taken a shop class?
That's funny.
It's good
It's a good conductor.
It's an excellent conductor, so it actually won't keep your food hot or cold very well. Okay, so that leaves the other two for insulators, which are what, Ty? What's one of them?
The wool sweater.
Wool sweater, excellent. So if you're going out in the wintertime, do you want to wear a plastic bag over yourself, or do you want to wear something wool, something that has a little bit of that insulation value on it? And then the cooler example that Pamela led to earlier in our discussion. An excellent example. So there's one more thing I want to talk about today, and that is conductors and insulators. What if they're in the same room at the same temperature for an extended period of time? Is one going to be hotter than the other? What do you guys think?
I think it's gonna even
They're
out.
gonna even out.
Think it's going to even out? Why do you think that?
Because the insulators don't inhibit the transfer of energy, it just slows it down. So depending on how much time they spend in the same area or in the same room, they will equal out to the same temperature.
Perfect.
Yeah, so
It's gonna go from hot to cold until it's no longer cold or
Exactly.
hot.
It's like if you have something in the oven at 350 degrees for a couple of hours. The pan, the food, everything in there should be 350, right?
Yeah.
really hot.
Okay.
Really hot.
Perfect. So you guys ready to take a little quiz on heat exchange?
Always.